Bitter criticism Thursday, regular Thursday. I'm going to read something. I don't know where. I don't really know. I don't remember. I guess I have to read something. You know, to be honest with you, my favorite newspaper is CGTN. This is my very favorite. But despite all, despite 100% newsletter from China's government, but it's kind of positive. Sometimes they are kind of very global south. They talk about very global south issues, but I like it. They are very positive. They are kind of responsible and positive again. Yeah, but I have to read also. But I also have to read something not related to the genocide from Al Jazeera. And here we go. Al Jazeera. Well, as usual, Al Jazeera is showcasing the genocide dossier, but live updates from Israel, live updates from Trump, muted Israel reaction after US and Hamas engage in secret negotiations. Trump pauses Mexico tariffs for imports covered by USMCA trade deal. And well, but I'm here in Al Jazeera just to read economy. One of the few newspapers they said economy and not business. Trump ratchets up tariff tension with Canada's Trudeau over border policies. I'm going to read that one because it's related to geopolitics too. And there's a photograph, Canada's Prime Minister, a picture. Justin Trudeau has said, I thought Trudeau was over, but who knows? Trudeau is still Prime Minister. That's the news. That's the whole news. Trudeau is still a minister, a prime minister. I'm not sure if I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording. Here we go again. Has said his government is prepared to push back against Trump's tariffs. Trump ratchets up tariff tensions with Canada's Trudeau over border policies. The president has repeatedly accused Canada of allowing vast amounts of fentanyl into the US as unsupported claim. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know what to say about fentanyl. There was right here in this country, it was a news saying there was ketamine. This amphetamines. People like to do amphetamines. And I have a neighbor right here in this hill, in the 5th sector of Playa Ancha. She's young. She's a young woman, but the question is, he's very talented. He has dramatic talent. She definitely should be an actress. I said that to her. Well, I knew her on a bus. She was talking about drug dealing. She was talking about selling amphetamines. So people right here in Chile, they are very used to drugs. and sometimes he talk about. I heard her talking about with friends. I'm just playing basketball, and she come and go talking about drugs, and I see her smoking weed too. But she's a young lady. She's a young woman. But what attracts me to her, I don't love her. I guess I admire more than love her. Love is a pretty tricky issue, isn't it? Nobody knows what love really is. Love is such a huge universe, isn't it, Milu? Look at Milu. Milu, do you love me? You're crazy. Milu was barking at the neighbors. Why, Milu? Why? If you just stop barking, you will be free, Milu. But no, Milu loves to bark. Aggressive dogs. Milu is kind of aggressive, but in my opinion, people are wrong, because all those people, all those small dogs, even if they are aggressive, they are too small to do any harm. Anyway, here we go. Trump ratchets up tariff tension with Canada's Trudeau over border policies. So my actress was amphetamine drug dealer. She was talking with her boyfriend in prison, his in prison boyfriend, on the bus. She was talking on the bus about problems outside, about his problems outside with his mom. Very interesting. So that with me was enough to think she is a potential great actress. Anyway, by Al Jazeera staff, updated 19 hours ago, United States President Donald Trump has escalated his war of words with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, hinting at rocky negotiations as Canada seeks to de-escalate a growing trade war. On Wednesday, Trump turned to his social media platform, Truth Social, to give his version of a midday phone call he held with Trudeau. Quote, "The call ended in a somewhat friendly manner," Trump said, without offering specifics. The Republican leader did, however, accuse Trudeau of doing too little to address fentanyl trafficking, an issue experts say is of minor concern along the Canadian border. I guess definitely this is just a strategy by Trump. Definitely Canada has bigger problems, so Trump is just fooling around. Trump also openly questioned Trudeau's role in Canada's upcoming federal election, attempting to raise questions about his government's legitimacy, as he has with other world leaders. Trump plays hard, isn't it? President Donald Trump smiles at Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on February 13, 2017. Pressure over tariffs. The high-level negotiations come one day after Trump imposed 25% tariffs on products from both Canada and Mexico. The U.S. two largest trading partners, not to mention its neighbors. Those high tariffs has been looming over the two countries for some time. Shortly after winning the presidency in November, Trump announced he planned to leverage the 25% tariffs to force Canada and Mexico to tighten their borders. He also mentioned that Canada could avoid such staggering tariffs by ceding its sovereignty and becoming the 54th state in the US. After taking office in January 20, Trump set a date in early February for the tariffs to take effect. But both Canada and Mexico offer compromises that allow for the tariffs to be delayed in order to avoid the anticipated harms to their economies. For Mexico, that meant sending 10,000 National Guard troops to its border with the US. For Canada, the compromise took the form of a state of measures, including the creation of a fentanyl czar, and a task force to crack down on drug trafficking. But the delay expired on Tuesday, and the US tariffs have since come into force. Canada and Mexico immediately respond with their own retaliatory tariffs, marking the opening salvos of the nascent trade war. Quote, Canadians are reasonable and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight. Not when our country and the well-being of everyone in it is at stake. Trudeau said on Tuesday. Why he didn't answer about being the 54th state? I guess Canadian people, they want to be part of the US. I guess any other country wants to be. Anyway, not me. I just wanna be Chinese, Russian, Kazakhstani, He warned all three countries' economies will be harmed by a trade standoff. Already the steep import duties have rattled several industries, and the big three US automakers, Ford, Stellantis and General Motors. I never heard about Stellantis. Successfully petitioned Trump for a 1-month exemption from the tariffs on Wednesday. Canada, meanwhile, has sought to negotiate an end to the trade war with the Trump administration, while filing a complaint over the steep tariffs with the World Trade Organization. It has argued that the tariffs violate a free trade agreement struck during Trump's first term, the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. And there's a video. In response to US trade actions, Canada Prime Minister announces a 25% tariff on US imports. So not 51, not 54th state. Focus on fentanyl. In his Truth Social post on Wednesday, Trump highlighted the illicit drug fentanyl as the sticking point in the tariff negotiations. Quote, Justin Trudeau of Canada called me to ask what could be done about tariffs. I told him that many people have died from fentanyl that came through the borders of Canada and Mexico, and nothing has convinced me that it has stopped, Trump wrote. Quote, he said that it's gotten better, but I said, that's not good enough. But experts have questioned whether the focus on fentanyl at the Canadian border is misplaced, given the relatively minuscule amounts crossing into the US from the north. Canada itself has called the tariffs unjustified. It has pointed out that the US government's own statistics indicate the amount of fentanyl seized along the country's shared border in less than 1%. According to the website for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, only about 19.5 kilograms, 43 pounds, were confiscated at the country's northern border for the fiscal year 2024. That's out of a total of more than 9,934 kilograms, which is 21,900 pounds, seized coming into the U.S. that year. Still, on Wednesday, Trump blamed Trudeau for weak border policies that are responsible for the death of many people, end quote. And his administration was on the defensive against accusations that it was inventing a problem in order to justify its tariffs. At the news briefing on Wednesday, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt lashed out at a reporter who questioned Trump's motives and noted the amount of fentanyl arriving from Canada could fit into a carry-on suitcase. Quote, you are asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. Is not up to you. You are not the president, Leavitt replied. Quote, frankly, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to the families in this country who have lost loved ones and that at the hands of this deadly poison, end quote. And there's a photograph. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky left, and Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speak on March 2nd, questioning Canada's elections. Speaking to the CBC television show The National on Tuesday, Canada's Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc said his government has been working to avoid the tariffs and that he has been engaged in dialogue with his U.S. counterpart, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. But LeBlanc emphasized that no compromise will be accepted except the complete repeal of the tariffs. He called on the U.S. to return to respecting the free trade agreement, end quote. Quote, we are not interested in some sort of reduction of the tariffs, end quote. LeBlanc said, quote, we want the free trade agreement with the United States and Mexico respected, and we will continue to work with the government of the United States on issues once the tariffs are lifted, end quote. Quote, this is not meeting somebody sort of halfway of reducing the tariffs, end quote. He added, quote, we want to ensure Canadian goods and services can enter the United States free of tariffs, end quote. But Trump himself has used the tariffs as a mechanism to pressure the Canadian government to cede its sovereignty and join the U.S. Trump has expressed multiple times during his second term an expansionist desire to grow U.S. territory abroad, including by reclaiming the Panama Canal, something he reiterated in a joint speech to the U.S. Congress on Tuesday. Again on Wednesday, Trump referred to Trudeau as a governor, a little used for leaders of U.S. states. He also tried to spur questions about the legitimacy of Trudeau's power by writing in conspiratorial terms about Canada's upcoming federal election. Quote, he was unable to tell me when the Canadian election is taking place, which made me curious. Quote, Trump wrote on Trudeau, quote, like, what's going on here? I then realized he is trying to use this issue to stay in power. Good luck, Justin. Trump has a history of questioning other leaders' legitimacy. In February, he called another elected official, President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, a dictator for failing to hold wartime elections. Ukraine is currently fending off a full-scale invasion from Russia. Trump's efforts to undermine Trudeau, however, may have spurred the opposite effect. After years, and there's Mursi. Mursi was lost, but he is my baby. My babies. Trump's efforts to undermine Trudeau, however, may be spurred the opposite effect. After years of trailing Canada's Conservative Party in the polls, Trudeau's Liberal Party has seen a resurgence in popularity. Something, I guess you can see my dogs in this angle too. Was exaggerated angle. After years of trailing Canada's Conservative Party in the polls, Trudeau's Liberal Party has seen a resurgence in popularity, something experts have credited in part to a backlash against Trump. Trudeau is set to step down as Liberal Party leader on March 9, which is in 2 days, with the elections of his replacement. Canada must hold a federal election no later than October 20. Though the Liberal Party may initiate a vote before then. Source Al Jazeera. Published on Al Jazeera English. Well, that's it. All about Canada. Everybody says there's a lot of videos about this subject saying Canada is done. Unfortunately, I consider Canada to move abroad, but question about Canada, nobody denies this. They don't have public education. They don't have free university. Well, I still want to study something. So that's why I'm going back to Brazil. And that's the story of my life. Maybe I'm going to die along the way. Maybe not. Who knows? One thing for sure: the roads are beautiful. The landscapes, Brazilian landscapes, are the best in the world.